Hey there everyone, happy Wednesday. Meteorologist Adam Claibon here with you on what's turned out to be a pretty nice day with plenty of sunshine to end it off and another pretty quiet day heading into Thursday. So this video is not going to be too long, but we are going to have to get into what's happening for Friday, Halloween. Rain is coming and probably not as much as what we had last week, but do expect it to be heavy and pretty steady at times as we head on into the latter part of the afternoon and into the nighttime hours right around that trick-or-treating time. So more on that and what's going to be happening throughout the remainder of the weekend too as things stay somewhat active. Not as much snow really expected though with this system as we're going to have those higher snow levels. First, let's talk about what's happening here across our atmosphere. Wanted to show you the water vapor imagery and where you have some of the brighter colors, the whites, and even some of those very light greens out over the Pacific. Those are streams of moisture and where systems are tapping into that moisture. And you can see that moving from west to east as it typically does, but it is heading more so into British Columbia, southeast Alaska. As of right now, that should be heading more our way by the time we head on into Friday. So as we look at that here on your 7-day forecast, we got the rain picking up throughout the mid and latter part of the day on Friday. The weekend, some showers around. We're expecting more of that, especially as we head on into Saturday morning. Now, on into Monday and Tuesday, expect things to be somewhat wet, especially towards the tail end of the day on Monday. And, well, yeah, in case you didn't know, in case you need to know now, we're falling back. Time is changing. Heading into Sunday morning, we're falling back and going back to standard time. All right, clear skies up this way. Beautiful end to the day here in Port Angeles as well, with just a few clouds passing by as we look out over the strait. And right now in Seattle, well, we are seeing temperatures that are holding pretty steady around those upper 50s, and many of us have been there, and the sunshine has definitely helped out with that. The clear skies tonight will allow temperatures to drop, and so many of us will be in the low 40s or either in the 30s as we head out into early tomorrow morning. All right, here's radar. There's some moisture popping up that way around more of the higher terrain to Skagit and Whatcom County. Big story is, though, things are still quiet. And our system from yesterday, well, that's now heading over towards Alberta, Manitoba. They're dealing with rain and snow over there. Our system in the Gulf of Alaska, that's going to start to gather up a bit more strength and head our way heading on into Friday. With that will be some wind, and I did want to show you that what's going to be happening here as we get closer to that Friday time, because here over the next day or so, maybe winds around 5 to 15 miles per hour, nothing too major by any means at all. Expect them to ramp up just a bit more out of the east. They're closer to Snoqualmie Pass, so if you're going to be driving there, you'll have quite the headwind driving east, quite the tailwind if you're going to be driving back to the west and kind of getting some better gas mileage at that point. As we continue on into tomorrow night, that's 7:30, we start to see the system out over the coast increasing and picking up the winds out that way. Now, still not really impacting us, but if you're along the north coast, you might start to feel that just a bit more. And as we head on into Friday, we'll start to see those winds pick up just ever so slightly more, and then we'll see some of those gusts closing in on about 30 to 35 miles per hour. This system and this wave of wind, not going to be quite as impactful, but we are going to see probably the strongest winds Friday evening, Friday night, and into early Saturday as this system pushes on through. Now, as far as the timing of the rain and the precipitation with that, here we are the rest of this evening and tonight, keeping things fairly clear and quiet. Tomorrow, that's 5 o'clock, seeing a few more clouds beginning to arrive, but expect that to be more upper-level clouds and eventually thicken just a bit more, but we'll still see more of that filtered look to the sunshine as we go throughout the day on Thursday. Just no rain really to worry about at that point. Continuing on into tomorrow evening, 5 p.m., some of those clouds beginning to head their way off towards the east, and then here we go on into Friday, Halloween. Rain already arriving out towards the coast by 7 a.m. Then we're going to see that really work its way farther east as we head on into the afternoon and evening hours. This is 8 p.m., and check out where the rain is and where you see some of those yellows and oranges. That's indicating some really, really steady rainfall. Persistent, kind of heavy at times, too. That's going to be around, again, during some of those peak trick-or-treating times. Now, if you're trying to get out just a bit earlier, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, maybe you get a chance to dodge a lot of the rain. We've been seeing models kind of going back and forth between the timing of this rain that's coming on in, but certainly expecting rain at some point during the evening and into the nighttime hours. A lot of rain, too. We're not really seeing that snow level drop until we head into late Saturday night and into Sunday. That's when you can start to see some of that blue popping up across the North Cascades, and we'll see those snow levels drop from about 8,000 or 9,000 feet Friday into Saturday, and then eventually down to about maybe 5,000 or 6,000 feet heading into Saturday afternoon as the cooler air continues to arrive. Rainfall totals with this, though, check it out, don't really come in until we head into the middle part of the day on Friday, and then we do start to pile up the rain. Now, I think models might be a little aggressive as far as what you're seeing right there with some of the numbers. Most of us ranging between about 1 inch to 2.5 inches out towards the coast, closing in on 3 inches. I think it's a good bet, though, that we see a decent amount of rain out of this. Why? Well, because this is going to be a slow mover as we head on into the nighttime hours of Friday, and then it won't be out of here until we head into early Saturday, and some deeper moisture, too. So we're going to be tapping into some heavier pockets of rain. What I will say, though, is a good bet will probably be at least 3/4 of an inch to 1.5 inches for many of our locations here across I-5. Rain shadow spots seeing a little less there north and east of the Olympics around Port Townsend and Mount Vernon and around Everett, too, before maybe some rain shadowing helps us to see that things do start to, rain shadowing actually knocks down some of the amounts up that way around the San Juans as well. We'll keep an eye out for that, but definitely out towards the coast. Expect this to be a big rain producer, at least 2 inches of rain on the way out there here for Friday and into Saturday. Now, snowfall, Saturday morning, 9:30. We did mention that this is going to be a warmer system, so snow levels will be higher. You're only seeing the amounts picking up there around or Mount Baker. Elsewhere, little of anything yet as we head on into that point. What will happen is, though, we'll see that system move on through. Things will start to cool down, and we're going to have not as organized band of precipitation in place, but there will be some around that will keep us kind of off and on in nature, and maybe some convergence zone activity, too, that might help there around Stevens Pass to start to accumulate maybe a little snowfall later on into Saturday evening, Saturday night, and then possibly into the day on Sunday as those levels get down closer to about 4,000 feet. And looking at futurecasts here, it shows, again, the big picture, rain moving through that system off to the east by the time we head into the second half of the day on Saturday. Still some left behind and lingering moisture, so a shower or two possible into Sunday, but a drier day for us at that point. And then by the time we head into Monday, quieting down, but the evening, we could see some rain there, expecting more as we head on into the day on Tuesday. And then quite the large system that you see spinning out over the Pacific, helping to bring in additional moisture our way as we head on into later tomorrow, or into Tuesday evening and into Wednesday too, which will definitely be another big rain producer for us. And we'll keep that trend going as far as the active weather later on into next week as well as we get ready to start off more of November. Now, forecasted highs, we keep them around the averages. 56 is the normal for this time of the year, so mid to lower 50s, not too far off for where we should be for this time of the year, and we continue to extend that here. That was the next 5 days. This is the 6 to 10 day forecast for those high temperatures, and you can see those numbers pretty close yet again to the average high. Lows tonight dipping down between the low to mid 40s. There are some 30s out there. Puyallup were one of those spots, down to 36 degrees, and then highs tomorrow reaching their way up into the mid and upper 50s in a lot of locations. The only thing that might keep us just a bit cooler will be some of those clouds moving on by. We'll see what happens with that. And then Friday, a high 54, but the big story will be the rain coming on through. And then as we head on into Sunday, expecting to see more of those showers on into the day there too, with more off and on chances to start off next work week. And one more thing too, I wanted to point out, tomorrow we actually get our updated drought monitor here across the nation, and that will include us here in Western Washington. So we'll see how much, if anything, that rain that's come around here recently has done to eat away at some of our dry soil and our drought conditions. So we'll definitely update you on that tomorrow. All right, everyone, have a wonderful Wednesday night. We'll talk to you soon.